Hey everybody, welcome back to Money and Music. I am Doc. Today we're going to be listening to some heavy hitters in the finance and music industry.
If you can buy a soda, you can invest.
We own hip hop, but we don't own rap music.
What's the cliche statement? If you hang around 5 rich people, you'll be the 6th.
I listen to his music because he's talking about, hey, how much farther he wants to go.
And I tell people in my business, I turn dreamers into doers.
Thank you for joining us today, Money and Music. My name is Doc Fuller. I am the host, and today we have a superstar that's at the college level. She's killing the game. Like I said, she's a junior in college. She's 18 years old. She provides investment education. She's an author of her own book. Today we're going to welcome Aliyah D. Aliyah, thank you for having us. Joining us today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I really do appreciate it, man. I've been following you, Aliyah, for some time now. Love what you're doing with Financial Revolution, right? Can you tell our viewers a little bit more about what you do?
Yes, hi everyone. I am Aliyah D. I'm 18 years old. I'm a junior at Virginia State University, business management major from Brooklyn, New York. I'm 18 years old, and I was just like, at 17, the pandemic hit, and I had no way to make money. I couldn't work anymore, and I was just like, I have to find a way to make money. And that's when I learned that, wealthy people make money by, letting their money work for them, right? And the only people who really survived the pandemic were the wealthy people because they had the knowledge. So I started reading books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Think and Grow Rich. And that's when I was like, you know what? I want to start a financial revolution. Like the only revolution we didn't have was with our finances. We never, learned about financial literacy. And if a few of us did, like it's not a group thing. Like all of us need to be on the same wave. And that's when I created Financial Revolution with 2 ends. The second end is for network. And my whole goal is just to help build generational wealth in the Black community.
That's what's up. And I know you go to Virginia State University, but I see the New York joint on.
Yes.
So from New York originally?
Yes, I'm from Brooklyn, New York, Bed-Stuy.
Bed-Stuy.
Everybody hate Chris. Yeah.
That's what's up. So what were you taught anything about financial literacy, finance, investing in your household? Like what inspired you?
Yes. Both of my parents are entrepreneurs. So like I heard earlier, I'm a 2nd generation entrepreneur. And my dad used to always tell me about investing. Like, Aliyah, don't buy these sneakers. You should invest your money. You buying Jordans, you can invest in a Nike stock. But it went in one ear and out the other because, growing up in the inner city is really hard to focus on those things when that's not what everybody's doing. If everybody's, buying sneakers, everybody's going to school looking cool, you end up wanting to, fall into that and do that as well.
Right.
But it wasn't until the pandemic hit and when I realized like what really mattered, right? We can have all the shoes, we can have all the clothes, but we're not going nowhere, right? So it was just like, what really matters is building that, generational wealth. And I started resonating, the things my dad was teaching me started resonating with me. And then my mom's hustler mentality, came right on to me, and I was like, I gotta go get it.
Yeah, and like I know, adding to the credits, right? You're an author. Like, how dope is that?
Yes,
right?
Thank you.
So tell us when you had the book come out, like what inspired the book, and what can people learn from the book that you have?
Yeah, so I wrote my first book. I published it January 1st of 2021. Everybody has, this thing called, New Year resolutions, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to have New Year resolutions, but this new year, I want to start something new. I want to do something that I've never done before, right? That most people my age aren't doing, which is writing a book. So I was like, I'm going to publish this book on January 1st, and it also help align with other people's goals, because if other people's goals are to, build generational wealth, help their families, you got to start with investing in yourself.
Yes, indeed.
So
yes,
by,
indeed.
Buying my book and taking that step to invest in yourself and learn about investing. So it's the Blueprint for Investing, Volume 1. And I named it the Blueprint because that's what I try to mirror everything I do. I know that most of the time you see entrepreneurs, they're like 30, 40, 50 years old. It's hard to relate.
Yeah.
So starting at 18 is like, I can relate to Aliyah. She goes to my school. Aliyah talks my language. Aliyah wears what I wear. So they receive my information, better. So that's why I call it the Blueprint. Everything I do is just the blueprint.
Yeah, and Aliyah, you've been helping out like in the community, like giving all types of free education. Your Instagram is on fire, right? You're doing the YouTube education as well. You're reaching them so many different ways. What does the future look like for you, like 5, 10 years from now?
Yeah, so my goal is to help 10,000 families build generational wealth. And I start by just like the little people I have now, the few people I have now. I take them very important to me. They're very important to me. And I, put my all into them because I know like, if I start with 2, I start with 3, that's building my legacy of getting to that 10,000 goal.
Legacy work. That's what's up. That's what's up. So what does your team look like? How do you get there collectively and utilize maybe a network to achieve your goals?
So what I do is I try to connect with, people who are older than me and have more experience than me. And I try to get the information that they have, take that information and just pass it on to the people that's in my local network, right? And once I do that, we're all starting to speak the same language. Because sometimes I think that the problem isn't that, older people don't really know. It's just that the way they pass it down is not, it's a disconnect. So I can be that, connection. And once I do that, it's like a circle. We're all speaking the same language. So if I'm learning something from you, right?
Right.
So I was on your panel and I heard each one teach 10, right? They may hear that from you. It may go in one ear and out the other because you're older, right?
Right.
But if they hear it from me, I'm like, bro, each one teach 10,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I
Same thing.
Yeah, same thing, but a different way that it connects.
Exactly.
Right? So that's how I try to, move things. I just, take information from other people, from experts, and I, do my research. I make sure it works. I make sure it makes sense, and I pass it down.
That's what it's about. And you talk about that generational wealth is like learning something and then gifting it to the next generation, right? And I don't think there's enough knowledge share. So like as an 18-year-old entrepreneur, author, boss in all rights, right? How are you amplifying your message? Like what platforms are you using? Like how are you getting the communication out there?
So I really started off on Instagram, and it's funny because I started off just with my regular main page, right? That I just post like my lifestyle. And I started off with just using this app called Mojo and like chopping up videos and just putting little notes in the videos, little financial gems. And I used to do it every day in the morning, on Monday through Friday. Saturdays, I was like, I'll give y'all a rest. Right? Monday through Fridays.
But consistent.
Yeah, consistently, right? And I was doing that for like 3 weeks, and I'm like I know too much. Like I'm starting to know too much. I'm starting to get too much information. I need to make a page out of this. So that's when, September 23rd, 2020, I started Financial Revolution, Instagram. And then I just started learning about creating content. I was like, okay, I can create a Twitter, reach more people. I create YouTube, reach more people. I create, what is the other one?
Snapchat,
TikTok, Facebook, yeah,
right.
Facebook reach more people. And I just, use all 4. And, even if I don't get any likes, it's still there for people to see. If I tell somebody to follow my page, they still see that I have something there. And I think that, sometimes that's the problem. People are just scared to start. They're scared to, maybe people are not going to receive what I'm saying. People are not going to like my post, but the message is still there.
The message is still there, right? I think a lot of people are doing stuff for likes instead of doing stuff for the love.
Exactly.
Right? A lot of people are chasing the bag instead of chasing purpose, right? So that's why, like, when you talked about that, it's like when you are on the same wavelength and frequency as somebody, like, I just feel like we've known each other for years.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, when you connect with people that share that passion and potential equal purpose, right? When you're on that same pathway of purpose, it's just like the universe, God, the Most High, is going to give you what you need in order to fulfill your purpose, right? And so who is around you that is helping you fulfill your purpose?
I definitely could say, God first. Every day I pray and I wake up and I pray that I'm adding value to somebody. I impact someone, 1 person, 10 people, no matter how many people it is. Like I just touch somebody, help somebody, right? Because it's one thing, like you said, to make money, but it's another thing for somebody to come to you and say, you helped change my life.
That's
right.
Real talk.
That's like, that takes you further than anything.
Big facts.
Anything else, right? So that's 1. And then 2, I can say, I really had to change my friend group and change the people around me as I was starting to change my mindset. And it wasn't that like I told people, I couldn't hang with them anymore. They just started, like I hear people say, you're doing so many great things. I just had to like leave you alone. So I think like definitely my parents. My parents are like my number one supporters. My father, my mother, especially my mom. My mom's always like at all my events, helping me with everything, making sure things make sense. And then my dad is like analytical, so he helps me make sure like I'm doing things the right business way, ethical way.
Right.
And I can say my parents, and I definitely have my one business partner, Yanaya Campbell.
Yeah.
Right. I always say she's going to be the future president. That she's in my circle, and those are like the top people that I could count on for like a lot of things. And definitely my peers, right? People who I want, to come along with me. They definitely inspire me and help me with a lot of things, because it's like I have to do it for them. Because if one person is not that one good apple in a tree, right? Everybody's just gonna be spoiled. So somebody got to come and change the trajectory.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And I think, that's what we're talking about, is like, how can we take what we know to change the future of the future, right? How can, and the kids, the next generation are our future, right? How can we rewrite history right now for the future? How can we change our future's future, right? And so I think about something that Jay-Z said, and what you said hit home. Jay-Z was talking about when he went from Rockefeller to all the way up to like all of the stuff he's doing now with Tidal and everything else, right? And Rock Nation. He said he didn't change, but everybody else around him did. You know what I mean? It's like they became jealous of his success, and like they just treated him different. He's still Jay from Marcy. You know what I mean? And so like when you see that, do you have people around you that as you grow are gonna support that?
It's a funny thing, because being 18 and I wasn't always this way. Like I always wasn't Aliyah, the financial literacy person, like Aliyah mindset. Like I used to actually be kind of reckless, right? I wasn't reckless, but like I used to just like class clown, joking, hanging out with my friends, going to parties. So it's like now that they see I'm so serious, it's almost like you switched up, like you changed up. But I always try to tell people that we live to grow. Right. And you can't be afraid of changing yourself because of how people used to know you. Right. So like, you mean to tell me I have to stay who I am because that's what you know?
Real talk.
Right.
Real talk.
Like I have to grow. Right. And it's either you're going to grow with me or you're not. So it's like, some people start to just, branch off, and the love is still there. It's just that we have to love each other from a distance. And when you need an opportunity, I'll always put you on. But it's just like, like people just, I tell you, like more people left me than I left people, because it's just that like the conversations weren't different, right? We couldn't come and just talk about clothes anymore. Right. I don't want to talk about that. Right. I don't want to be a consumer anymore. I don't want to talk about what sneakers are dropping. Oh, I'm about to go to this store. Let's go shopping. Like, that's not the things that I want to do anymore. And it's totally fine. And if you want to do that, it's totally fine. It's just that we're not on the same page anymore. And I never judge anybody, right? And I try not to judge anybody, because it was a point when I was still there, right? And it's just so happened that my light switch went off. So when their light switch goes off, I'm on, I'm ready. Let's get it popping. And we can make money together.
Yeah, for sure. And sometimes you can be in the same book but on different chapters.
Exactly.
And then you can catch up, later. People on different pages at different times. So this is money and music, right? What financial literacy or empowerment or entrepreneurship bars that you heard in music that inspires Aliyah?
So I love, my favorite two artists are Jay-Z and Lil Baby. One thing.
Shout out to Bo.
Yes, shout out to
Kings.
both. Yes. One thing Jay-Z said, he said, please don't die over the neighborhood that your mama renting. Take your drug money and buy the neighborhood. That's how they did it. And every time I hear that, when I'm like driving and I'm looking at homes, like, and I'm from Brooklyn, New York. So in Brooklyn, we have like these little sections where a lot of Jews like own like a whole neighborhood to themselves.
Right.
Like they have their own homes, own buildings, their own grocery stores, their own ambulance, like hospitals, like everything. They operate and own their own stuff. And then
and he said what?
Said, oh wait.
And in the story of OJ, he made reference to that.
Yes. Yeah. And he was like, credit, right? And that makes so much sense when I look at things differently now. Before, when I was younger, I was like, they're weird. Like, why they operate and have their own stuff. Like, they don't do anything with anybody else. But now I admire it. I'm like, it makes so much sense. Like, they don't have to, like, they were the only people in Brooklyn that weren't wearing masks. And nobody said anything to them because they own and operate their own stuff. They're going into their own stores. They're going into their own hospitals. So if I'm going into my own stuff, my own people, and I'm with my own people, and we're all doing the same thing, we're all operating on the same level, who's going to tell me what? Right? So it's just like, when I heard that, it's like so many of my peers or just so many people, we think that we have to, hustle for our block. We have to fight for our block, but we don't own anything.
You don't own it.
We don't own anything.
You're fighting over a corner that you don't own. It's not named after your family. Like what are you doing?
Have no type of wealth, no type of ownership on that block. And it's just so backwards, right? And it's just like, why would you want to do, like, one time I was outside, I heard this man say, I did 10 years for this block. I was like, why would you do 10 years for a block?
Concrete.
For a block that did nothing for you, right? I could see if you own the block, you sweep the block, you don't ever clean the block, right?
Yeah.
You don't ever take care of the block. So it's just like, it's so backwards. We have to start changing, the way we look at things and start actually owning stuff, and not just owning it, but controlling stuff, right? Being in control, right? Can have people controlling your stuff, right? We have to own and control everything that we have.
And I was talking to T.I., and T.I. has some like huge like facts, and he was just talking about if he can go back, one of the things that he would have done differently is that he would have had this collective group economic mindset where it's not just, I'm trying to buy 3 houses. He's just like, man, if I would have known what I know now, I would have linked up with all my partners and, Killer Mike. I would have linked up with Outkast, Usher, Goody Mob, all of these different 2 Chainz, Rick Ross. He would have did this instead of buying 3 houses, bought 30 houses, bought the whole complex, So shout out to him and Killer Mike. They recently purchased the Atlanta Seafood.
Oh wow, that's really cool.
Historic business.
It's open?
Yeah, well, I think they're still working through all of that, but like they purchased that building.
Okay.
So like I think that the idea though is just like, how can we come together like we're doing right now and make something greater than us individually?
I think just leading by example. I think what we're doing right now is great. Somebody else is going to see this and be like, I want to connect with Aliyah. I would like to connect with Dr. Philla. And I think they would reach out to us and we'll connect with them. And I think another thing, we just have to be open to other people. Sometimes, when we operating on certain levels, we forget that we were once at a certain level. And sometimes people they need to be around a certain type of energy. They need to see different to really grow, right? Sometimes people want to get out of communities, but they don't know what else is out there. They don't know how to get in contact with the people who are not in their close network. So that's why, it's very important to me that I stay, very local and I keep, staying in contact with people. I don't ever want to be one of those people that's like hard to reach or, just too busy for people, right? Just stay, like, be a person, be relatable and just, help when you can,
That's what's up. So Financial Revolution, looking forward to seeing you grow as an individual. I know you're going to have multiple versions of you, and you're going to keep all of the beautiful things you have going on, consistently growing. Persistency is the key, right? We know that. So,
of course.
Aliyah D, thank you for joining us. Financial Revolution. This is Money and Music.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome.